So Google just dropped something huge, a series of updates that are seriously about to change how you think about getting work done. And I mean, we're talking about a brand new AI agent builder, a new model that can actually control your computer for you, and a ton of upgrades to their other tools. Okay, let's get into this. Just think about it. Literally, last week, if you wanted a custom AI agent to handle specific tasks for your business, you were looking at a really difficult, time-consuming, and, let's be honest, very expensive project. It was pretty much reserved for specialized developers and companies with big budgets. And then, poof, just like that, everything changed. With their latest launch, Google has basically taken all of that complexity and boiled it down to a single instruction. This isn't just some small update, folks. This is a total game changer that puts the power of AI automation right into your hands. All right, so let's dive into the main event here, the official launch of Google's AI Agent Builder. This is the absolute star of the show, and for a very, very good reason. Okay, so what is it really? Well, at its core, you can think of it like a unified command center. It's this one single, secure spot where you can dream up and create your own custom agents, release them into your workflow, and, super importantly, manage what they do and what they can access. It's designed to be the whole shebang. And what I find really cool here is just how simple they've made the structure. Google's broken it down into these three main pillars. First, you create the agent, and you often do this just by describing what you want in plain English. Then you deploy it into your workflow. But crucially, and this is super important, you always govern it. That means you have full control over what it sees and does. It's a full lifecycle approach from start to finish. Okay, so that's the big picture, but what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's walk through an example that shows how this feels less like a piece of software and a lot more like a new member of your team. This is it. This is the magic sentence. I mean, just look at how simple this prompt is. You're not writing a single line of code. You're just describing what you want, like you're chatting with a really smart assistant. And boom, the platform spins up a fully functional agent ready to do exactly that. So you're probably wondering, how does it get so smart so fast? What's the secret sauce? Well, its real superpower is that it's already plugged into everything. Because this is Google we're talking about, the agent can instantly and securely tap into your Google Calendar for meeting schedules, your Gmail for all that communication history, and your Drive for every relevant document. And this is a perfect example of the kind of workflow it can create for you. It's not just grabbing files, it's performing a whole sequence of intelligent tasks. It dives into your calendar invites to summarize past meetings. It pulls key customer info from documents in Drive, and it even analyzes the whole vibe and history of your email chains in Gmail to give you the perfect briefing before you walk into that room. Okay, so let's talk brass tacks. What's this kind of power going to cost you? Well, Google's rolling it into their Gemini for Workspace subscriptions. The business plan, which is what you'd need to unlock this agent building goodness, starts at just $21 a month per user. So what's actually making all this magic happen? I mean, an agent that can read your email is one thing, but one that can actually do stuff for you? Well, that needs a whole new kind of engine. And that's where Gemini 2.5 computer use comes in. Yeah, the name's a bit of a mouthful, I know, but the idea behind it is actually super simple. Basically, think of it as an AI that can literally see your computer screen and use a mouse and keyboard just like you do. It can browse websites, click on buttons, and fill out forms. And that, right there, is the absolute key. This is the piece of the puzzle that lets the AI go from just understanding information to actually doing things for you out there in the digital world. It's the bridge between thought and action. And from what we're seeing in the early benchmarks, it's not just good at it, it's incredibly good at it. When you stack it up against similar models from competitors, like OpenAI and Anthropic, Gemini 2.5 is just pulling ahead. As this chart shows, it's leading in accuracy, it's cheaper to run, and it's faster. Getting all three of those right, yeah, that's a huge deal. But, a brilliant agent is kind of useless if it doesn't have the right info to work with, right? So alongside the new agent builder, Google also gave a major upgrade to the tools you use to feed your agents the data they need to be smart. And this is such a critical piece of the whole puzzle. You can have the smartest agent on the planet, but if it doesn't have good data, it's just not going to work. So let's see how Google's tackling that. Okay, so take NotebookLM. The old way, it was kind of a drag. You had to manually hunt for files, copy and paste links, upload stuff from your computer. Now, it's just so much smoother. You can be on your phone, see an interesting article or screenshot, and just share it directly to your notebook. Even better, you can now just tell it to go find stuff in your Google Drive. I mean, imagine typing, hey, find all my docs on the Q4 planning, and it just pulls them all in instantly. And the upgrades didn't stop there. They hit their creative tools too. In AI Studio, finding the perfect model for whatever you're doing is now a breeze. For all you designers out there, Stitch lets you whip up and test new visual ideas almost instantly. And then there's Mixboard, which is kind of like an AI-powered mood board that helps you brainstorm visually for pretty much anything. It's all about making that whole creative process way smarter. Okay, so let's take a step back and zoom out for a second. When you put all of these pieces together, the slick new agent builder, that crazy powerful new model, the smarter tools, it's pretty clear this isn't just another product launch. What we're really looking at here is a fundamental shift. We're moving away from using AI as just a simple tool, and we're starting to collaborate with it like it's a teammate. That huge barrier to creating sophisticated automation has just been radically lowered, making it accessible to pretty much everyone. And this isn't some small niche change. We're talking massive scale. A report from Goldman Sachs recently projected that AI could impact, get this, as many as 300 million jobs. The entire landscape of work is changing, and tools like these are what's driving it. Look, the tech is here. The tools are getting so simple that pretty much anyone can start building with them. So it's not really a question of if this is going to change things anymore. The real question is, how are you going to engage with that change? And that really brings us to the final question. And this one's for you to think about. With all this power now literally at your fingertips, what is the very first, most useful agent you would build? What's that one tedious thing at your job you'd get it to do first? Seriously, think about it. Because the era of the AI teammate, well, it's already here.